Today is the World Sea Turtle Day. Let us protect the Sea of Sri Lanka.
Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. On behalf of the News First, the voice of the people, I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
What will happen to the 44 containers washed ashore from the MV Express Pearl vessel? Shania Besekara granted bail. UNP fills nationalist MP post. Israel launches airstrikes on Gaza.
Sri Lanka's sea holds a special place for turtles because 7 of the 5 turtle species in the world exist in the Sri Lankan waters. Today marks the World Sea Turtle Day. However, the World Sea Turtle Day is marked on a day where these majestic species are faced with danger.
Even at present, carcasses of many marine creatures wash up to many parts of the island. The biggest impact has been reported to the turtles of the south and west coasts of the island. Among the carcasses washed ashore are spotted turtles, hawksbill sea turtles, olive ridley sea turtles and humpback dolphins. At present, close to 40 turtles have died in the island over the past few days. A turtle washed ashore off the coast of Kalutara today. Another carcass of a turtle was discovered in the Morogoro coast, while another was seen floating in the vicinity. If the turtles are harmed, the whole ecosystem will be harmed. This time we cannot celebrate Turtle Day when Sri Lankan turtles are dying like this.
සාගර කැස්බෑ දිනේ සමරන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ ලංකාවේ කැස්බෑ ගහණයට ඉතා විශාල අනතුරක් මුණ පාලා තියෙන සිදු වෙලා තියෙන වෙලාවක පුළුවන් අඩුම ගානේ කැස්බෑව 5000ක්වත්.
At least 5,000 turtles come ashore for mass nesting to Sri Lanka. They lay around 120 eggs. About 80% of it are nurtured under natural conditions. Most of the spawning season is from January to August. Satellite technology has tested the trajectory of the sea turtles. There we saw that 5 out of 7 turtles have migrated along the west coast of Sri Lanka to the Bay of Mannar via Colombo. This means that the turtles' route is through the area where the shipwreck occurred. So we can assume that a large number have been exposed to this shipwreck.
ගමන් මාර්ගයේ මේ නැවකාව අනතුර සිදු වෙලා තියෙන ප්‍රදේශය හරහා මේ නිසා විශාල කැස්බෑ ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ අනතුරට නිරාවරණය වෙලා කියලා අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන්.
Have you started an institutional investigation into the deaths of the turtles and dolphins reported from several places in the island? Where are the reports of the investigations carried out on the dead turtles? If these animals have died due to poisoning, wouldn't it be important for people to know about it?
News First have received footage of the Singaporean vessel MV Express Pearl before it was in flames and sunk in the deep seas. We now draw your attention to those visuals. Join us again at 9 tonight with Primetime News for a comprehensive report on this story. In more local news, Minister of Environment Mahinda Amaravira expressed the following views.
You can see that a large number of animals have died. More than 50 turtles have died as of now. What are the measures taken by the government? By now, we are unable to stop it. The damage caused cannot be estimated. It cannot be estimated in rupees or dollars. Turtles live up to 80 to 100 years. Dolphins are valuable creatures to the country. Damages have been caused to the entire marine ecosystem. These are only the damages that we are able to see. The plastic that was washed ashore has now been collected. We will find out how much more plastic is below the sea. A massive damage has been caused.
The ever-picturesque Sea of Sri Lanka, an eye-catching spectacle, is a blessing to my nation. Surrounding our mother with the protection of a father.
The Sea of Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, the Marine Environment Protection Authority said a United Nations team of experts in marine ecology is set to visit Sri Lanka.
Chairperson of MIPA, Darshini Lahandapura, said the purpose of the UN team's visit is to assess the damages caused by the MV Express Pearl disaster and provide necessary advice with regard to the future course of action. Accordingly, a team including an expert in toxicology and an expert in environmental damage analysis is scheduled to visit. The UN Coast Conservation Team will also brief the Sri Lankan authorities on the environmental issues that have arisen as a result of the MV Express Pearl and the legal action that should be followed in the aftermath of the disaster. Issuing a statement, the State Ministry of Urban Development, Coast Conservation, Waste Disposal and Public Sanitation said that up to 200 kilometers of the country's coastal line stretching from the northwest to south has been cleared. According to the State Ministry of Coast Conservation, more than 1,000 tons of plastic and other waste scattered along the coastal area were collected and stored in 44 containers of hazardous waste of the Central Environmental Authority.
Minister of Environment Mahinda Amaravira, convening a media briefing today, said that a cabinet paper will be submitted to ban several materials, including polythene and plastic.
Plastic තහනම් කරන්න අවශ්‍ය කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකා මේ වෙන විට සකස්.
We have prepared the cabinet paper to ban plastic. We will submit the paper to the cabinet in the future. According to the final draft of the paper, straws used only once and plastic utensils that are only used once will be banned. Also, a decision has been taken to ban grocery bags that are made out of the plastic and polythene. The usage of lunch sheets will be banned from the country. Also, we will take steps to ban plastic equipment used for cooking. Polythene covers used to cover incense sticks will be banned as well. Plastic garlands will be banned.
ඒ වගේම ප්ලාස්ටික් මල් මාලා තහනම් කරන්න කටයුතු කරනවා.
දැන් ගෑස් මිල වැඩි වීමක් සම්බන්ධව මේ දවස්වල කතා බහක් යනවා. මේ දැන් ඔබතුමාත් කමිටු ඉන්නෝනේ මොනවාද මේ පිළිබඳ තත්ත්වය?
නෑ ගෑස් මිල වැඩි කරන්න කියලා අය ලොකු ඉල්ලීමක්.
There is a very strong request to increase the price of gas. Lafs Gas Company has requested to increase the price by another 700 rupees. Litro Gas Company is asking for a price increase of 670 rupees. That is the situation at present. However, the Consumer Affairs Authority says that it is impossible to increase the price to that amount. We are discussing about this every day, but we in the committee are of the stance that we should not increase this. We have asked the companies to present us a proposal, but they have not yet given it to us.
වැඩි නොකර ගෙනියන ක්‍රමවේදයක් අපි කියලා තියෙනවා එයාට යෝජනා කරන්න කියලා. තාම ඉතින් ඊයේ සාකච්ඡාවේදීත් ඒකට නිසි පරිදි යෝජනාවක් නැහැ.
The committee appointed by the Ministry of Fisheries to estimate the damage incurred to the fishing community from the fire that erupted on board the MV Express Pearl vessel will convene for the second time today.
According to the Media Secretary of the Ministry of Fisheries, Nelson Edrisinghe, the committee will discuss the concessions that will be given to fishermen who have been impacted by the Express Pearl disaster. Fishing activities on the coastal stretch from Wadua to Negombo has been halted as a result of polluted sea region in the area. However, the Ministry of Fisheries said that fishermen have been allowed to engage in fishing activities in the Negombo Lagoon.
Opposition politicians expressed views about the fuel price hike and the party crisis that it has created.
Secretary of the SLPP is acting as if the cabinet is not aware when decisions are taken. According to him, the president does not know either, and neither does the Prime Minister. Only the minister in charge, Minister Gammampila, is aware. If that is the case, why don't you put forward a motion of no confidence against Minister Gammampila? If he is not willing to resign, that is what needs to be done. If not, Minister Gammampila needs to clearly tell the public who is to be held accountable for this. This government brought in the provision of a 5,000 rupee allowance for the loss the country suffers owing to the travel restrictions. The damage caused to the fishing community cannot be compensated by a mere 5,000. As the SJB, we would like to request that a daily allowance of 2,000 rupees be given to them.
මහමූදේ මාළු ටික කාලා තමයි දීවර විශේෂයෙන්ම අද ශක්තිමත් වෙලා ඔවුන්ගේ හැකියාවෙන් තමයි දීවර රැකියාව.
The fishermen of this country have been severely affected. They are left helpless on the streets by this government. There is no denying this.
අද දීවරයට යන එන මන් නැති තත්ත්වයට පත් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Demonstrations against the fuel price hike were seen in several locations across the country today as well. The White House announced the US President Joe Biden has nominated Julie Chung for Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka.
Julie Chung, a career member of the Senior Foreign Service Class of Minister Counselor, is the acting Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs at the U.S. Department of State. She was previously Director of the Office of Japanese Affairs at the department. She has served as Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and Economic Counselor at the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand. Earlier, Chung was Chief of Staff to the Transition Coordinator at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. She has also served at the U.S. Embassies in Colombia, Vietnam, and Japan, and the U.S. Consulate General in Guangzhou, China. Chung earned a BA at the University of California, San Diego, and an MA at Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs. She is the recipient of numerous awards, including the Secretary's Distinguished Honor Award. Chung speaks Korean, Japanese, Spanish, and Khmer.
The relevant documents needed to appoint the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, for the nationalist seat the party managed to secure in Parliament were handed over to the Election Commission today by the General Secretary of the UNP, Palitha Rangabandara.
Former Minister Sagala Ratnayaka was also present at this occasion.
We did not wait for the auspicious time, we did our duty. We secured a parliamentary seat through the national list at the general election. Today we handed over the necessary documents to appoint the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, to that vacant seat. Most probably the next parliamentary session. It is not about the policy what matters at the moment. What matters is the need of the country at the moment. The Treasury says that our foreign reserves will only last for another 3 months. It gives us a wide angle of the economic situation of the country. Against the prevailing situation of the country, we as a party have a responsibility to appoint the most suitable person who has the ability to save our country. So we took a unanimous decision.
What are you trying to insinuate by mentioning the central bank bond scam? Prove it if you can, whether he has robbed a single cent of public money.
You do not have to say what other people are saying. Cases have been filed in court. 12 billion is in the treasury. They are speaking about 11 million rupees. So is it a profit or a loss? The country is run by a group of imbeciles who do not even understand this. People who can understand it will understand it.
Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal granted bail for former Director of the Criminal Investigation Department, Shani Abesekara, this morning.
Shani Abesekara and Sub-Inspector of the CID, Sugat Mendis, were arrested on the charge of fabricating false evidence against former DIG Vas Gunawardena and several other suspects. The two were initially remanded by the Magistrates Court of Gampaha. However, the bail application was then rejected by the Gampaha Magistrates Court and the High Court. Accordingly, the two filed two separate petitions in the Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal Justices Nishanka Bandula Karunaratna and Ratnapriya Gurusingha ordered the Gampaha High Court to release the two suspects on two sureties of 1 million rupees each.
Cabinet of Ministers have in principle approved the concept of a small claims court, which has been proposed by the Justice Minister, President Counsel Ali Sabri. The Small Claims Court is a novel court proposed to be set up and expanded throughout the island to hear and determine disputes below the sum of 1.5 million rupees. A committee appointed in October last year by the Honourable Minister of Justice to explore the possibility of establishing a small claims court in Sri Lanka. A maximum time limit of 18 months is given to the proposed small claims court to conclude a matter, and a further time limit of 1 year has been proposed for the civil appeal court to conclude final appeals from the small claims court. The implementation of the small claims court would benefit the entire country at large, as it would help to reduce the backlog of cases in the district courts and reduce delays in the overall legal system. The Justice Ministry intends to set up these courthouses with additional cadre of judges being recruited. The committee which drafted this act for an extended period of time presented the committee's report with the draft Small Claims Court Act along with proposed amendments to the Judicature Act to the Honourable Minister on the 30th of April 2021. The Ministry has obtained observations from stakeholders including the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, which are to be considered by the committee prior to the draft act being submitted to the Legal Draftments Department by the Justice Ministry. In international news, Israel carried out airstrikes on the Gaza Strip today after militants in the Palestinian territory sent balloons into the south of the country in the first major conflict between the two sides since a flare-up in May in which hundreds were killed.
Local firefighters said the incendiary balloons or balloon bombs inflated with a lighter-than-air gas caused around 20 fires in southern Israel. Israel's Air Force targeted at least one site east of Khan Yunis in the south of the Gaza Strip, which is home to about 2 million people. The strikes were the first under the new coalition government headed by Naftali Bennett, who took over on Sunday after ousting former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They come as more than 1,000 ultra-nationalist demonstrators bearing Israeli flags poured into Jerusalem's Flashpoint Old City yesterday, with scores of police deployed and international monitors urging calm.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of the stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First, the voice of the people, I am Martin Sattines, and you take care and stay safe.